As we're getting into our fresh, brand new series, the winner of this series moves on to the finals to face the Zerglord, as we just saw. But here we go. We still have to find out which one of these players is going to come out on top. And spawning in the bottom left, we have one of said players. It is the Mexican Zerg player, the very first Mexican that we get to cast today. Surprisingly, we've been lacking them a little bit. Exclamation mark Funada Paco Mike. He should have been here. Should have been here, but here he is. Oh my god, going for a 12 pool opening, representing Timbers Esports, El Macaco himself. It is JimRising. And spawning in the top right hands corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss player representing his new team, Eximus Gaming. It is, well, he used to be known as Nano, he is now Shakti. So if you're wondering, Shakti for the longest time was on Team The Bad alongside the Zerglord, but Eximus Gaming is a relatively new team. I don't know if they're new in general or just new to StarCraft, but they did recently pick up a couple of players, Shakti being one of them. So yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool that, you know, another team is coming into Latin American esports, Latin American StarCraft, and picking up players. Hope they're taking care of Shakti. And yeah, we'll see what happens here. So Shakti did go for a drone scout, and he saw the pool, he saw the hatchery, he knows that it was a 12 pool opening. We'll see how good the defense is. We do see the wall is going up here across the map. The zealots should be being chronoed out. Ideally, you have a couple of probes here as well to help body block. We'll see. There is a probe here on hold position, maybe even to throw down a pylon. Oh, the zealot does come out, but it almost gets surrounded. Oh god, please, the probe micro. It actually almost does, but it looks like the probes are enough here to protect the zealot and push away these lings. What's scary is that Jim is not done. We have more lings on the way. Mate, you're gonna need more probes, and the zealot gets surrounded. Oh god, Nano, Shakti, he's not taking this seriously enough. He actually throws down a Nexus. I mean, he's got to spend his money, I guess, but the pylon goes down, and oh my, thankfully there were two pylons. Jesus Christ. I was worried that there was only one pylon. Powering everything, meanwhile, the attack gets surrounded. GG. My head is in my hands. He saw that it was a 12 pool and he didn't take it seriously enough. He didn't, like, normally you pull a couple more boys just to protect your zealot, right? As soon as that zealot went down, and as soon as GG, man, GG. Ay. Oh god. Hi, Adrian Rising. Adrian, are you JimRising's son? It would only make sense. It would only make sense. But yeah, wow. Very quick game number one. Again, so JimRising went for a 12 pool opening, and there are different varieties of the 12 pool, you know, depending on how committed you are with how many lings you make. What's important is that Shakti, he did scout it, which is why he was prepared initially, but he just wasn't aware of how many lings were coming across the map. I'm sure he thought that he had defended when he pushed away the initial lings of JimRising. But some missed micro there, just not anticipating the aggression from Jim, cost him that game. GG. Wow. And now we're just waiting to get into game number 2. Waiting for a lobby to be made. Shakti, please. Maybe he's just processing what just happened. Because that was a rough game one. That was rough. Like, you got to be hating yourself, right? Like, or like when you're in a game and when you scout what's coming, but you die anyway just because you miscalculate a little bit. Like, that's always rough. That's always rough. So maybe Shakti needs a little bit of time to kind of recover and process what just happened. Again, this is a best of 3, so they still got at least one more game ahead of them. At the moment, they're just kind of chilling. There we go. Shakti has picked the map for game number 2. JimRising fan. There we go. Toss mind is overwhelming. Poor Shakti. He was, he was thinking about the follow-up. He was thinking about the mid-game, right? Just when he really had to be focusing on the now, on the present, not the future. But yes, shout out to the people coming in from JimRising stream. Much love to Jim. I know he's quite supportive of the CranKy Ducklings. He loves us. Much love. Himena herself. As we are currently waiting for Jim to join the lobby. There we go. There we go. He has joined and... oh boy, I'm concerned. Again, Shakti is such a good player, and I would kind of favor Shakti in like the late game scenario if we do get there. But the problem is getting there, and JimRising is going to try his best to stop that from happening. Shelby is JimRising's son. You're not wrong. For better or for worse, Shelby is influenced by JimRising. I don't know if you saw, but Shelby did his own sleeping stream. We joke a lot about him being the JimRising of Peru. God damn it, Shelby. But here we go. We are spawning in on Romanticide LE in this best of 3 semifinals match. And in the top left, we have the Brazilian Protoss player. He is blue. He is representing Team Eximus Gaming. It is Shakti. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Romanticide LE. Ooh, going for a double gas trick. We have the Mexican Zerg player representing Timbers Esports, as well as macacos all over the world. It is JimRising. Well, Chileno Singaporean in the chats. Massive shout outs. He's kind of like us in a way, like where he's also, got the Southeast Asian in him, but also got the Latin American in him. Always great to see. Spanish is basically English with an accent. I mean, if you hear Spanish, you could probably guess what's being said a little bit, just because there are similarities in the languages, because they do use the same alphabet, and all that stuff. So yeah, you can guess. Jim also, his English isn't bad. He lived in America for a while. He lived in the root house with cats and everyone for a while as well. So if you do speak to him in English in his chat, he will respond. But obviously, the majority of the content on his channel will be in Spanish. He's a great guy, though. Great streamer. I haven't seen Shakti playing before. Shakti is the best Protoss player in Brazil. One of the best Protoss players in Latin America. I say one of the best. I would probably place Paco Mike ahead of Shakti at the moment. But they are top 2, in their own right. Shakti used to be known as Nano, so if you're familiar with Nano, then that's who Shakti is. Shakti did change his name a couple of months ago, so this is a relatively new ID for him. Nano has been around for a long time. If you're wondering why Nano changed his name to Shakti, or Shakti changed his name from Nano is because he actually had a fundraiser on his stream and for his fans. He had a fundraiser for a new graphics card because his old one died and he actually couldn't play StarCraft. So he needed a new graphics card, and part of like the rewards or like the goal, the donation goal of that was for him to change his name. As Shakti is like an old ID he used to have. So yeah, we are getting into the swing of things. So far, JimRising is just droning up, nothing too special. Shakti, he actually gets into the game. He actually gets into a game, so he should be able to do, or actually, you know, get into the mid game and actually play some StarCraft instead of dying in the first 10 minutes. We do see he is, first 5 minutes even, he is a little bit scared, so we do see a shield battery being thrown down, so he's just trying to be safe and secure at home. We do see he did go for a Stargate opening up with an Oracle, and JimRising has not scouted this, unfortunately. He has not gone into the main base. We are on the romantic side though, so you can make a lot of assumptions and you can, you know, make an educated guess that your opponent is going for Stargate. The Oracle does come out, but again, JimRising doesn't see it at all. JimRising is actually going for pneumatized carapace, so he will get a scout eventually. Very interesting choice here that he is opting to go for this. I mean, this will definitely help with scouting, maybe with some kind of drop play as well, maybe. We have seen Jim go for the German taxi before, and pneumatized carapace will help a lot with that. Boy, as the Oracle does dive in, and Jim did not have a spore ready, so 4 drones go down. Honestly, already a lot of damage, and the Oracle does get out. What's important is that we have a second Oracle on the way as well, so, or a third Oracle. Oh my god, he's opening up triple Oracle. This is old school stat style. I haven't seen this since last year, so really interesting that Shakti is going for this, and because he already has 2 Oracles, yep, he can just one-shot these drones, and once he has 3, he can focus down some queens as well. Oh, as long as he keeps his Oracle alive. Does barely keep it alive with 18 HP, and now here comes a third Oracle. Like, this is scary. Like, this is enough Oracles to kill queens and maybe even focus down some spores as well. So these mineral lines are not safe. Meanwhile, JimRising did get into the main base. He sees the Stargate. He confirms that it is not double Stargate, and ooh, this is important. He sees the Templar Archive. So Chargeload Archon is the name of the game here for Shakti. JimRising, he is relatively aware of this, but again, these Oracles are still terrifying. He dives in, 2 more drones go down. Oof. And Shakti is able to escape with all 3 Oracles still alive, and this is dangerous. Like, this is always going to be in the back of JimRising's mind. Meanwhile, JimRising is still pumping out more queens and working on +1 melee. Oh, 3 queens at a time. There it is. I was about to say this is looking like the German taxi, and there we go. The drop lords are on the way, but they get scouted. Oh, does he click on them? Does Shakti know? He should know. He should know. As the drop lords are finishing up. Again, this is a lot of queens to work with, and roaches are on the way. But because this was scouted, like, Shakti should be able to prepare. I'm just concerned because obviously we saw Shakti scout the 12 pool in game number 1, and he kind of, you know, he didn't take it seriously. Likewise, I don't know if it clicked in his mind. Like, he saw the drop lord morphing in, but like, where are the shield batteries, right? Like, he's throwing down all these revelations, but I don't know if he actually took notice of the dropper lord. Like, we need shield batteries at home. We need, you know, maybe even a robotic spade for disruptors. We need nothing but units, and he's still pumping out probes. Like, this is terrifying. Shakti, please. As the army is pushing out, Shakti, he doesn't have confirmation. The Lings do show up. Shield batteries are being thrown down now, but I think it's a little bit too late. We'll see. I mean, they may just barely finish up in time. The Roach Ravager Queen is here. The spare queens are waddling across the map as well. We'll see if Shakti can hold here. Good, here come the queens. They do get dropped in the face of Shakti. JimRising is ready to look to push up the ramp, and he's already going to try and get an immortal for free. Ooh, he just barely does not get the immortals. The shield batteries, they finish up just in time. The Oracles are still here as well to help out with whatever they can. The shield batteries are running out of energy. Overcharge is used, but the immortal does get taken out. And the overcharge does run out as well. And you know what? JimRising still has the majority of his army here. The queens as well. The queens, they take out the oracles. There's only a handful of immortals left. And again, once again, Shakti, you saw this so early. You saw it, mate. Oh, God. I mean, he does keep 2 immortals alive, and that does count for something, but these shield batteries, they're going to be going down, and the queens are slowly pushing on forward. Can 2 immortals really hold against this with 2 shield batteries, 3 shield batteries? I don't know. Protoss is good. I don't think they're that good. There we go. So Roaches move on forward. Jim is trying to focus down these immortals, and it looks like he will get one of them. He will get both of them. That is the entire army of Shakti gone. He's trying to morph in what he can here. Oh, but he's stuck. He's stuck. He has to take down the gateway. And he can't help his third. The third goes down. And JimRising really asserting himself here in this series, not allowing the game to go for very long. Again, in a longer game, in the mid game, in the late game, I favor Shakti 100%. But JimRising knows that as well, and GG gets called. Not even 10 minutes. JimRising takes game 2 and the series. Also, I apologize. There's a neighbor outside mowing the lawn. So if you do hear a lawnmower, I apologize. I apologize.